Hi, so now we are on to Module 7. We're going to go over the glue technique for Russian volume fans. So forget everything that you know about the glue technique for classic lashes because this is completely different. And I think by now you'll probably be in autopilot with your classic lashes as well, so you'll have to undo some habits and change your glue technique. So for Russian volume, you only dip 1 millimeter of the fan into the adhesive, whereby before with classic lashes you dip the majority of the lash into the glue. We don't do that anymore. If you do dip more than 1 millimeter into the adhesive, your fans will close up. You'll stick it on the natural lash and it'll close up and you'll end up with a thick, chunky, gluey lash and it won't be a fan at all. With your Russian volume fans as well, you need to dip the glue slowly to avoid beading. So do you know, you've probably noticed, you've probably tried it, if you dip a lash into the glue quickly and pull it out quickly, you end up with beads, and that same goes with your Russian volume fans. If you do it quickly, you end up with beads on your fan as well. That's too much glue. And again, the same as before, too much glue closes your fans. You need to ideally apply the lash straight away before, well, the whole fan straight away before the glue starts to cure. You hold the natural lash you hold the fan onto the natural lash, for about 5 seconds, so that it dries in the right place. We'll cover that. The tutorial for that bit will be more helpful. With the Russian volume glue as well, you need a new blob of glue every 30 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes. Whereas before, with your classic lashes, one blob of glue will have lasted you for the whole treatment. You need fresh glue for this. It's slightly different. There's a tutorial in the next video, but there are a few other things that I need to cover first. So, your glue behaves differently in different environments, and you may have noticed that already with your classic lashes, but it's not really affected things. You've not had to change your technique. Everything's been, your glue might dry more quickly or slower, but you've not had to really change anything. However, with Russian volume lashes, you have to change your technique if your glue isn't behaving itself. So in hot temperatures with high humidity, your glue cures quicker. And in cold temperatures with low humidity, your glue will cure slowly because the glue cures because of the moisture molecules in the air. So you'll need to alter your technique depending on your environment. Now, you've probably watched YouTube videos which tell you that you need a dehumidifier and you need a hydrometer and all this expensive equipment to change your environment. If you're a mobile lash technician, changing your environment is not really possible. You can't go into a customer's house and start trying to change the humidity of their house because it's impossible. You can't do that. You need to learn to change your technique instead of trying to change your environment. Yes, dehumidifiers work. You can reduce the humidity and change your glue drying time with a dehumidifier, but it's not always practical to do that. You need to learn to change your technique instead, which we will cover. So the first thing that you can change is really, really simple. You're isolating. So if it is hot and humidity is high, your glue is drying really quickly, you can isolate before you glue. So I hope this is making sense. So you isolate and then you glue and then you apply the fan straight away. So you're already ready, you isolated, you glue and then you whap it straight onto the natural lash. That's fine. That's probably what you already do with your classic lashes. So isolate before glue. Get your lash on straight away. Your glue's drying quickly, you need to get it on straight away. With colder temperatures and low humidity, what you can do is if your lash basically is taking ages to dry, if your fan's taking ages to dry, isolate after glue so that you've got your glue on your fan and then you've got a little bit of time for it to dry whilst you are isolating. So you might have to look at that slide again to get your head around it because it's a bit strange to get your head around. So that if you are isolating while your glue is drying on the fan a little bit, that helps you out in that scenario. Another thing that you can do is change where you get the glue from on your dome of glue. So when you'll see this in the tutorial as well. So if it's not quite making sense at the moment, just bear with it. So here, this image represents your blob of glue, your adhesive, and the green bit is your jade stone. So you're going to have a dome of glue on your jade stone. So round the edges is a larger surface area, and it's going to dry quicker around the edges. So there you can see when you've had your glue on your jade stone for a few minutes, round the edges will start to cure quicker, and the very top will stay fresh for longer. So the fresh glue is at the top and slightly cured glue is around the edges. So that brings me on to my next point. So if your glue is curing really, really quickly, dip the fan into the fresh bit on the dome of glue. If your glue is drying really slowly, you can pick your glue up from a place where it's going to be already slightly cured, so you can go from around the edges. So have a quick look at that. It's a bit confusing if you've not tried it. You might have to just revisit this module if you notice that your glue is behaving differently and you start to struggle. So I don't want to overcomplicate things and confuse you at this point. But this is just little tiny things that you can change if your glue is not behaving itself. So it's something to consider if you notice that your glue is behaving differently. Okay, so don't worry about it straight away. So this is something that you'll need to revisit